Not one, but two factions of Orthodox Jews clashed in Crown Heights yesterday among themselves and with the NYPD over what to do about the secret Jewish tunnel in Brooklyn. I'm Michael Knowles. This is the Michael Knowles Show. A certain organization. Sure. Professor Jacob here, though he's not dressed that way. He's not dressed nearly with the proper fit or riz as the Chabadniks of Brooklyn. But technically, Professor Jacob is a Chabadnik here. And I know Professor Jacob has done a lot of work on this studio. Where is it?
Remember that time I came out from behind there?
Wow. I thought I would stump you, but no, you're right. There must be a tunnel for you to have surprised me on my show. Okay, there it is. I will be directing all of your questions about the tunnels to the professor after the show. Airborne Dan, after I finish my master's in 2027, I'm going to apply to DW as a shrink. Well, you would have your work cut out for you.
Okay. Is it Tagalog that they're speaking?
I don't know how to pronounce it.
Forgive our ignorance, correct us below. I just love that language. I've been to the Philippines before. I've spoken there. Yeah.
It's pleasant to the ear. It's a nice, I mean, it's got I feel like it would feel good in the mouth to say
absolutely.
too.
It rolls and...
Because, there's a good balance of glottal stop and vowel sounds, and that's what makes a word feel good to say.
Okay.
Which is why I have such a hard time not cursing, because there's a lot of great vowel sound glottal stops in four-letter words.
I don't know if I told you this, but when I was in the Philippines, it was a Filipino woman who gave me the most precise insult anyone has ever given me.
Oh, hit me.
She didn't, and it was not really an insult, but it was so specific. It was like, I will never forget it. So myself and Sarah Swafford had traveled around speaking to tens of thousands of people. And so it was pretty intense. But as she was driving us back to the airport, she said, "You are like forgive me for this accent, you are like a phone with many apps. Very exciting, but dies quickly."
That's so good.
It's so good.
That's so good.
Excited about it. Much to my chagrin, nobody in the audience cares about football. You don't care about football, and you don't care about aliens. And those are like half of the things I care about. And yet somehow we make this relationship work. I don't know how we do it, but we do.
Well, we'll dispense with critical thought because we don't want anybody's feelings to be hurt. So then they wander off a cliff and die. I saw someone yesterday, they called him Little Shap, L-I-L Shap. I thought that was great. I think everyone should call Ben Shapiro Little Shap for the rest of his life.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, you dumb little sheep. Do what I say and put on that mask. Good luck blowing out your candles. Happy birthday to you. To explain this away, and they say, "Oh, the Papa Francesco was misinterpreted, That's not exactly what the Papa said." Phrase is like, hey, ho, ho, Michael's got to go. Trans life is human life, or what. The Shuckmeister says, we need Trump to promote the Latin Vulgate. I totally agree. Wouldn't that be great? Listen, okay, it's a beautiful edition from St. Jerome. Some people say St. Jerome, one of the greatest, one of an amazing saint, okay? We love St. Jerome. Trump loves St. Jerome. Caravaggio loves St. Jerome. Painted him twice, Caravaggio. Okay, Latin Vulgate, available now at Trumpus Donaldus Magnus.com.
Safer.
No, actually, we have really nice, stylish spoons.
You do?
Yeah.
Where are those at?
And we got them, they're all engraved too. It says,
yeah, where are those at?
Do not take Seamus.
Do not remove at
You're
Seamus.
spoon stealing?
And at gunpoint, may democracy see you out of your seats. Who talks like that? No one talks like that. No real human talks like, may democracy see you out of your seats, sir. The hell does that even mean?
Cast him to St. Helena. to Elba goes he. You guys hear about this? You hear about this? What's the deal with these Bibles, huh? When you guys hear about
I hear what you're saying. There's part of me that's like, there's a lot of good people left, but more realistically, there aren't that many in shape people left. And it's hard to fight a war when everyone's out of shape.
That's okay, gang. So first of all, the idea that we would have a Catholic theocracy is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, we cannot have a Catholic theocracy. I've told Michael Knowles 100 times that we're not going to do that. Okay, and I keep telling him. Michael Knowles keeps bringing a bunch of priests in, wearing all of their vestments so they can swing incense throughout the Daily Wire and chant. And I've said we're not doing that anymore. Quite frankly, we need to stop. It's absolutely ridiculous. The other day I was doing a podcast on Israel Palestine, and I asked Michael Knowles. I said, well, who do you think should control the region? And Michael Knowles, he looked at a picture of the Pope and he said, soon. I said, what does that mean? What does soon mean? Are you kidding me? That's absolutely asinine. It won't be tolerated at the Daily Wire. Okay, gang?
I'm afraid of flying too close to the sun here. I don't want to make a prediction and then have it not be true because I made the prediction. What a narcissistic thought. That's ridiculous. What a ridiculous thought.
It would make, and I know this sounds like an exaggeration, but it would make more sense to ask Hillary Clinton to be America's mom. That would make more sense. At least Hillary Clinton, she has a kid. Harris doesn't even have children. Hillary Clinton has children. Plus, Hillary could be, she could be kind of America's evil stepmom. So she does give off a certain maternal energy. It's a very evil maternal energy, but she gives off the maternal energy of a mom who locks you up in the tower and you're forced to befriend talking rodents because nobody will talk to you. She gives off that very Cinderella vibe thing. And maybe you can make an argument that there's times when America could use an evil stepmom. I don't know. But Harris doesn't even have that. Xochitl, first name. Last name, Hinojosa. Hinojosa is the last name. That's not too hard. Zochitl? How do you pronounce that? You can't go around with a name like that. You just can't. Sochi is what I'm being told? That's Sochi? That's how you pronounce that? Sochi. Say it again. Sochi. Sochi Hinohisa. So the X sound is an S sound, and then there's this TL hanging out at the end of the name that just doesn't get pronounced at all. It's just sitting there for no reason. Is what you're telling me? That you can't have a name like that. You can't have that name. If I was in charge, you're not having that name, or you're spelling it differently. Anyway, what were we talking about? So marijuana.
So, for instance, we went kayaking with a group of friends, and she asked me to be in her 2-person kayak. Oh, yeah, get it, Matthew. All right. I thought the NFL was run by men. Are you kidding me? We don't support this. We don't want any of our players articulating traditional Christian views about anything. We're the NFL. Yasuki is the black guy. My producers insist that this man's name is pronounced differently. I heard Yasuke, and then now they're writing in my teleprompter it's pronounced Yasuke. I don't care, nerd, Professor Jacob. I'm calling him Yasuki because that's what it's spelled like.
I do think that the institutions are fundamentally broken. And I don't see any political solution to it. But I also don't think that a dictator is the solution either. So essentially, we're just screwed. Is where I land on it, I guess.
I might have guessed where you would that.
Don't forget to text me when you get there.
I hate text. It doesn't let you ignore people the way God intended.
This is Music Monday. Is that right?
Oh, it's Woke Wednesday with a woke music video.
This sounds like you were lazy this week and didn't want to come up with puns for Tee Tuesday, and now you didn't want to find a woke cool video for Wednesday, so you found a music video. Is that an accurate description of what just happened?
Actually, that's 100% accurate of what happened.
It is. Music is supposed to be, it's supposed to express the things in the human soul that are inexpressible through any other means. And now, first of all, I hope you appreciate the sacrifice I made here. I had to sit and listen to multiple interviews with bird watchers in order to do this monologue. Now, you might say that I didn't have to do that. In fact, I don't have to be talking about this at all. That's true enough, but stop changing the subject. Anyway.
Because Steve Bannon, Donald Trump's rather, now I'm sounding like Joe Biden. In the Himalayas.
Damned hippies. There are people who think that Stonehenge has some sort of mystical power to it, and I think that it doesn't, because by now, it would have put a curse on all the hippies that they keep harassing it. Maybe it has. Maybe that's why they're hippies, actually. That's an interesting theory. Anyway, as you can see,
Good day, Mr. Knowles, O Speaker of Latin. I have a very simple family motto, do the right thing. My thought was to modify our family crest with this in Latin, but I need a translation that is not ass face. Google, do the right thing equals facere rectum. Okay. This has been bugging me for quite a while now. Thoughts? Yeah, maybe instead of rectum, maybe ius. I-U-S, like justice, use. Facere use. Fuck use. If you put it in the second person.
Wow.
I didn't mean to. If you put it in.
Come here for the best advice.
It would be, what is that? The second person indicative, I think? Or my Latin is really weak, but it actually would be fuck use. So you maybe leave it in the infinitive. Facere use would be good. Okay, it's fake headline.
Hi, this is Andrew Clavin. If you like American flags and automatic weapons and shaking your fist at homosexuals while fighter jets fly over in formation, come to the Andrew Clavin Show. We don't have any of that. But we will be making fun of idiots and praising God and laughing our way through the fall of the Republic. It's like an insane asylum for happy people. That's the Andrew Clavin Show right here on Daily Wire Plus.
Ovaltine. Bill Gates in a lab coat making you disgusting vegan meat sounds like the dystopian version of Clue. That's true. It does.
This woman, she thinks that she's actually Wonder Woman. Doesn't Wonder Woman has a lasso, right? Is it like an invisible lasso, or is it? Or no, her jet is invisible, but the lasso, doesn't she have a lasso? I think the lasso makes you tell the truth. What? So she doesn't actually use the lasso to physically hurt anyone. She just lassos them, and then they have to tell her something that's true. That is the gayest thing of all. That's the gayest superpower you could possibly get. Is that really called the lasso of truth? So she's riding around in an invisible jet. Which, what exactly is what's the practical application of that? Number one. And she has a lasso. Like, why do you have a jet and a rope? My God. Okay, so.
And I can't debate prep a corpse because it's dead.
It would be. And two, and I can't stress this enough, shut up. Shut up. What? I say this. We've got a potato, a potatoes, I guess. The POTUS potato is sitting there in the Oval Office.
I don't need to return my shopping cart.
Learn to be more considerate with prayer and meditation. Looking for you, there's Hollow. Don't let your
praying, spending time alone. Because it's a right.
Yeah,
in the article.
God, if dead. No, you are. Get Hollow.
Tim Pool. So grab your lightest pair of loafers, pack an extra black beanie, and steal your neighbor's free-range chicken. This is Face Off Civil War.
Hold on, my iPad's talking to me. I'm talking to myself through my iPad. How do I turn this off? Professor! There we go, I turned it off. I'm not that much.
And not her name.
How does it go, though?
But,
can you hum it or something? What's the...
Like, boom, clap, the sound of my heart, the beat goes on and on and on and on. You know that?
No.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Like, it's so weird. I'm sorry, that's weird. It is, and there's nothing I can do about it. It's your fault. Stop being weird.
Let's talk about the origin of life, if that's okay.
Yeah,
we move on.
I was like, okay, I'm going to read some sweet philosophy and supplement with some sweet history and theology, but I'm also going to read some sweet Chesterton. And I did.
Power Speed Zone on September 23rd or 23rd, 1995. After the officer smelled breath on Walz's alcohol, Walz...
Going to like her. I saw what she did in the Senate. We served together for 4 years. She cared about families. She could work with all kinds of people, and she was effective in getting things done. One of the things she pushed, which we succeeded in, was $35 insulin for senior citizens. Now we're going to get it for everybody.
What's your response when Trump takes credit of that?
Trump takes credit for so many things he doesn't do and gets the blame for a lot of things he does do. He's lost his bearings, as we can see.
Maid race exists. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. What do you mean? What you're doing is...
Raised my sister and me. She worked very hard.
Shaking the head for authenticity.
She was able to finally save up enough money to buy our
Here come the
first
hands.
house when I was a teenager.
Oh, wow.
I grew up in a community of hardworking people.
Wow.
You know,
In
construction
Montreal.
workers and nurses and teachers.
In
and
Montreal.
I try to explain to some people who may not have had the same experience, you know, but a lot of people will relate to this. You know, I grew up in a neighborhood of folks who were very proud of their lawn.
Their lawn, you know.
When I
lawn.
talk about building an opportunity economy, it is
She's building a
very
square
much
with
with
her
the
hands.
mind of investing
triangle.
in the ambitions and aspirations and the incredible work ethic of the American people, and creating opportunity
going
for
back
people, for example, to
before
start
it-
a small business.
So we build a square. Just help we build a square. Build like a lawn. And then we build a triangle to support the middle class. Okay, you might have noticed that the actual question was, can you name some specific ways to bring down inflation? She's like, I was born back in the 1960s. And let me tell you, when God first created Adam and Eve in the garden, there were trees. And in those trees were fruit. Some might say, you know, some people don't understand fruit. They don't understand fruit. What are you talking about? What the?
Here's the. It even happened. The whole thing seems like something out of Looney Tunes, with Jihadi Coyote buying a bunch of Acme electronics from a Roadrunner in a yarmulke. And then I would not be surprised if there are legends that crop up someday and say, yes, Donald Trump. The way that in the old United States, there was an orange fellow with, I don't know why the people telling us are Irish. There was an orange fellow with blonde hair. Donald Trump. Donald Maximus. Donald Magnus the Great. Donald. And Donald, bullets wouldn't, they called him the Teflon Don. The bullets would bounce right off him. He'd slip right off him. Where did he acquire his powers? Well, because the Donald protected the cats from the dastardly Democrats and the Haitian immigrants. They were cooking the cats, and the cats one day at the cat convention decided to bestow upon the Donald 9 lives. And the Donald used his 9 lives, and who knows how many more times the Dems are going to try to kill Trump. That will be a silver lining in this crazy.
I call again for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza, the return of the sausages, the hostages.
He wants a return of the sausages. Claim an entire theater for a private showing with 50 of their closest friends. We will provide the snacks and drinks. You just bring your crew and get ready for a hilarious night out. Plus, you'll roll up to your screening in style on a brand new Razor scooter. Wait, really? That's because this is the first time I'm hearing of this. That's very silly. That is one. Ooh.
But Michael, can you eat beaver on Friday?
This is a huge question, and we were debating this at the office. And I looked it up, actually, since someone brought up the question of eating beaver on Friday, because a beaver, though you would think of it as an animal, kind of behaves like a fish, right? Because it swims around and everything. And this became a problem in colonial Canada in the 17th century. And as far as I know, serious theologians weighed in on this. And the most persuasive argument on the pro-eat beaver on Fridays, on the beaver is a fish side of the debate, is that the beaver itself is an animal, but the beaver tail, which I guess people ate in the 17th century, the beaver tail is a fish. I have never eaten beaver tail, but beaver tail apparently tastes like fish and kind of looks like fish when you cook it, and is the fishier part of the beaver, which is a liminal creature. Now, some people, some unscrupulous people, took this so far as to say that the whole beaver itself is a fish, which seems dubious to me. Does that persuade you in the control room?
That makes some sense, but then that really confuses me on platypus, because a platypus is much more of a duck and a waterfowl, but it's still a mammal.
Right. The platypus is evidence that God has a great sense of humor, the very existence of the platypus. So I don't know. The platypus is a special case in basically all ways. And I guess I would eat him just to try it.
I do want to steal 1 point from Michael Knowles before he has a chance to reiterate it. Right. You're welcome. Just like I stole your idea for a board game, by the way. Am I racist? Available.
You can do a blank book next. You know, owning a house is great and all, but one thing I don't enjoy about home ownership is the endless barrage of decay that accompanies all temporal things in this fallen world. And nowhere is that truer than in my gutters.
Backstreet's back. All right. Can I tell you what I did on the airplane today?
What did you do?
I hit a guy. So,
you hit a guy?
Well, let me just.
Shenanigans are afoot, my friends.
And as a doffed cap to the bloodlust of the everyday sports fan, I've arranged to have a Yale Bulldog piñata.
You wicked scamp. Unfortunately, I am allergic to dogs, but I am more allergic to losing.
And the people in the circle take turns debating the guy in the middle. Charlie Kirk went viral a couple weeks ago when he took on 25 woke college students and debated them and did quite well. This week, Ben Shapiro was the latest conservative commentator on the chopping block. Clips of his debates with 25 Kamala Harris voters are going extremely viral all over social media, which as a side note means it's only a matter of time before someone on our PR team tries to convince me to do this too. And I'll just tell them ahead of time, the answer is no. I am not doing this. Don't even bother bringing it to my office. I know you're going to. You'll probably do it today. I don't have the patience required to engage in that many conversations with that many idiots, one after another in close succession. So I'm happy to let Ben and Charlie handle that chore on their own. And they've got the right temperament for it. I don't.
Oh, I see you're using some pinking shears, huh?
Pinking what?
Pinking shears.
Oh, that's the proper name for it? I call it a zigzag scissors.
A zigzag scissors.
I'm tired of sitting, so I'm like, why don't I run today?
How's your sleep been recently? Well, I tell you, it's election season. I've been promoting my new movie. Pretty much non-existent.
Yeah, I could tell.
It's been a historic presidency. Not because I'm president, because what we've done.
The women of The View decided they were all going to wear dresses of mourning yesterday. They wore black into work at The View yesterday, which was enjoyable and also slimming. So Sunny Hostin. So maybe you flipped over to CBS and you decided to see if Stephen Colbert was going to be wrong. Stephen Colbert was not going to be funny. He was going to outcompete Jimmy Kimmel to see who could cry harder. And guess what? It's funny to me. I enjoyed it. Here was Stephen Colbert.
Hey there.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm great.
You've applied to tons of jobs and now you're applying for love.
And fortunately, you know, there's this great book, the Bible, which is basically, for those who don't know, a book that Christians have so that they can memorize specific verses to own other denominations. And then just have those.
That's the point of it. Now, Seamus, you know why you're here.
Yeah, I mean, there needed to be some eye candy on this show.
That was it. That was here. You are here as a thirst trap for the audience. You are also here. Right. Joe Biden
Without
captured
question.
biting babies at White House Halloween party. Internet feels it's gross.
No, I saw that one. But to his credit, and I think the media needs to defend him more on this, that baby was dressed as a chicken and he could have been confused.
He certainly could have, like a tasty little chicken. And he went right for the leg.
This is my boyfriend. We've come for the dinner party.
You have clearly just dragged a traffic warden off the street.
Do you know how many explosives will be needed to blow up an entire hospital? A lot. I don't know exactly how much. I started to Google it, but then I realized that I might be putting myself on an FBI watch list with a Google search like that. You can't just hide behind Gotham City's a show. No, this movie's a show. The script is a show. You, sir, are a show.
All right, these days, hell, maybe my wife would not object to it. I don't know. Please, go be a monk. Bye, Mac.
All right, another quick thing. Post-millennial, also another post-millennial, says, following a raid on a local raw milk farm, Amish people in Pennsylvania reportedly turned out in unprecedented numbers to vote in the 2024 election. Lancaster Farming reported in January that Lancaster County farmer Amos Miller was raided by the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture on January 4th, following reports of illnesses traced back to raw milk. In 2022, Miller reached a deal with the federal government to avoid jail time over not complying with food safety laws. And now they're saying that that the Amish turned out in record numbers, in part because of this raw milk controversy. And you know what? If raw milk is what inspired the Amish to vote and it helped to flip Pennsylvania for Trump, then fine. Raw milk is fine. I mean, it's not fine. It's not fine. It's disgusting. It's gross E. coli juice still. It's a disgusting fecal-flecked secretion that, but I will tolerate it. I will retract my previous statements that raw milk drinkers should be deported into a volcano. On second thought, that was slightly overboard. A little bit overboard, maybe. Like maybe not. Maybe we don't have to go that far. Maybe. But what you have to understand is that I always associated raw milk with hippies. So that's what this was all about. I mean, this was my bigotry against hippies, which is totally understandable. I'm sure you would agree. And so that's where it all started. And also because it's unsanitary and repulsive. But I always thought it was a hippie thing. And so I wanted to throw hippies into a volcano. Turns out I was throwing the Amish also. Never intended to do that. I love the Amish. I think the Amish are great. I would never throw the Amish into a volcano. I'll be very clear about that. So that's one. I'd take a firm stance on that one. Firm stance. So anyway, raw milk is, look, if it helped, then it's fine. I mean, it's not fine. It's bad, but it's fine. That's my new position. It's bad, but it's fine. Now, if you tell me that anime flipped one of the swing states too, then I'm really going to be in a moral crisis. I don't know what I'd do about that. I don't know what, but I don't think anime fans are voting for Trump anyway. They weren't voting for anyone. They weren't allowed to, use their mom's car that day to go vote. So anyway.
I sort of stress like a constipated meerkat.
It is crazy though. They're always gorgeous and like just perfect, and then they're like, I am a blob or whatever.
Yeah, like the Dominicans, right?
The stormtroopers.
Yeah,
they remind me of the
that's
stormtroopers from Star Wars. They're in all white. They're all very straight and sort of like, hello, I'm a Dominican.
Yeah,
I know things.
Yeah,
I like that.
So then, how did they respond?
Hi there, hello everybody. It looks like I'm back with a new video, and I do apologize for that. I'm as upset as you are about it, and I take full responsibility.
Trump has picked Jim O'Neill. My producers have put some picture on the screen of a man who is not Jim O'Neill. I don't know who that person is, but President Trump has picked Jim. Okay, it is Woke Wednesday. Mr. Davies, do we still not have a stinger?
You really threw me out there to dry, Michael. Thanks.
Hold on, let me try it again. Today is Woke Wednesday.
Woke Wednesday.
Wow, that's a good stinger, huh?